Most men hand a woman's ego the keys to their life and wonder why she drives away with them. Stop handing over the keys. If you learn 3 quiet moves, you can flip the whole dynamic without shouting, threats, or games. It's simpler than you think. There's this scene I keep seeing. A grown man pacing his living room, phone in hand, rereading the same message for the 5th time, trying to turn a text into meaning, into proof, into value. He's worn out. He's spent. He thinks effort equals authority. He doesn't realize effort can be oxygen for someone's ego. And when you feed that hunger, you train it to grow bigger than the person holding it. Listen, I don't mean destroy, like break someone down or be cruel. That's weak and petty. What I'm talking about is removing the fuel that lets pride run wild. You take away the spotlight, the constant proof, the drama as attention, and something simple happens. Entitlement shrinks, respect grows, and attraction, real attraction, can spark. You do it from strength, not spite. That's the real lesson. Now let me walk you through how men actually do this. Step by step, quiet, effective, almost surgical. First, hold your frame like it's your home. Most men lose the game before it even starts because they hand over their emotional steering wheel to her. Every time she throws a mood swing, they swerve. Every time she pulls away, they chase. And that's exactly how her ego grows, through your reactions. Holding frame is like locking your house door. It means your emotions, your peace, and your purpose stay yours. Nobody gets to come in and move your furniture around without permission. But most men, they leave the door wide open, hoping she'll think it's romantic. It's not. It's weak. Let's make it simple. A woman's ego feeds on attention. She doesn't even do it consciously most times. It's instinct. The more she can move you, the more valuable she feels. So when you stay calm, consistent, unbothered, that fuel source dries up. Suddenly, she starts second-guessing her control. Imagine she cancels on you last minute. Most guys blow up or send a guilt text. A man with frame just says, "All right, we'll plan another time." Short, clean, calm. That's strength. You didn't beg for validation. You didn't show you're phased. You just showed that your time is valuable, and she'll feel that instantly. Your frame isn't just in your words, it's in your voice, your walk, your tone. Speak slower than her, move with intent, keep your social life, gym, and work in focus. A woman should fit into your life, not replace it. When she senses your priorities don't revolve around her, her ego loses oxygen. Here's the rule: never let her emotions dictate your direction. Be kind, yes. Be present, yes. But don't let drama shift your energy. When you can stay composed no matter what she says or does, she can't use emotions to control you anymore. That's when her ego starts to bend, and respect starts to grow. Second, master indifference, without being cold. Indifference isn't pretending not to care. It's actually being okay whether she stays or goes. And that's the most freeing mindset you can ever have as a man. Women can feel when you need their approval. They can smell it in your words, your eyes, even your silence. It's the same energy that makes a man panic when she pulls away. But the truth? You don't lose power when she pulls away. You gain it if you don't chase. Let me tell you something simple. The man who reacts less always controls the tone. The more emotionally detached you are from her actions, the more magnetic you become, because her ego doesn't know what to do when it can't trigger you. You've probably seen this happen. She goes distant, maybe stops texting as much. You respond with patience, not sarcasm, not a chase, just quiet peace. Suddenly, she starts wondering why you're so calm, why her usual tricks don't work. That curiosity, that's her ego losing balance. Indifference doesn't mean you're rude. It means your self-worth doesn't depend on her reaction. If she compliments you, great. If she criticizes you, same energy. That emotional steadiness is rare. It makes women nervous at first, but drawn later. Real indifference is built, not acted. You build it by focusing on yourself, by having goals that matter more than her attention. When your energy is invested in your life, she becomes an addition, not your purpose. Here's the irony. The moment she realizes she can't control you emotionally, her respect doubles. Because now she sees you as solid, not easily shaken. She can flirt, she can test, but deep down she knows one thing. You won't break your peace for her. And that's when her ego cracks. 3. Use silence like a weapon. Silence. Most men fear it, but the truth, silence is one of the sharpest tools you have. See, women test through emotion. They throw shade, make small digs, go quiet themselves, all to see how you'll react. And most men do exactly what she expects. They talk, they defend, they chase, they fill the silence because it feels uncomfortable. But that silence is where the real power sits. Because when you don't respond, she's forced to sit with her own thoughts. She starts replaying what she said. She wonders what you're thinking. She questions if she went too far. That's how her ego starts folding on itself, through her own overthinking. I knew a guy who'd argue back every time his girl got passive-aggressive. It always ended messy. Then one day, he just stopped. She threw her lines. He smiled faintly and stayed quiet. The silence bothered her more than any argument ever did. Within days, she softened. That's silence at work. Silence isn't about ignoring someone forever. It's about timing. It's a statement that says, I won't waste breath proving myself. It's calm, confident distance. You're not punishing her. You're protecting your peace. Next time she throws drama your way, try this. Breathe. Don't respond instantly. Let a few seconds of quiet sit there. It's powerful. Because her ego expects chaos. When you don't give it, the game dies. Remember, words explain, but silence reveals. It shows control, maturity, and depth. Most men talk too much trying to fix tension. The strong ones let silence fix it for them. And women, deep down, they respect that energy. 4. Stop explaining yourself. Nothing shrinks your value faster than over-explaining. Every time you justify your actions, you tell her, your opinion controls my peace. Women don't respect explanations. They respect consistency. You don't need to prove your decisions. If you said something, stand by it. If you made a choice, own it. The more you talk, the more room her ego gets to twist your words. Let's be honest, a lot of men explain because they fear losing her. They want her to understand their intention. But here's the twist. She doesn't want explanations. She wants certainty. A man who knows who he is doesn't need to prove it. Example. She says, "Why didn't you call me?" Most men start defending. "Oh, I was busy. My phone died. I was going to text later." Wrong move. All she hears is, "I need you to forgive me." The right move? "I had things to do." Short, calm, done. When you stop explaining, you create mystery. You stop feeding her ego with reassurance. You show her that your actions are not open for judgment. And that, right there, makes her curious. It makes her ego shrink because she's not getting that emotional payoff anymore. The goal isn't arrogance, it's clarity. Speak when needed. Stay silent when it adds no value. The less you explain, the more she observes. And when she starts observing instead of controlling, you've flipped the power dynamic completely. 5. Be willing to walk away. If you want to destroy a woman's ego, this is the move, the hardest And the most powerful, walking away. See, most men talk about being strong, but when push comes to shove, they stay. They tolerate disrespect. They justify behavior. They cling to connection, and that's why women stop respecting them. The real power begins when you're okay losing her, not pretending, actually being okay, because when a woman knows you can live without her, her ego shatters. The game ends. You must build a life so full that losing someone doesn't collapse it. That means work, gym, purpose, hobbies, friends, a complete life. Then walking away isn't a threat. It's a choice, a calm one. When you walk away from disrespect, you're teaching her what kind of energy you tolerate. You're not begging, you're not punishing, you're protecting your peace. Most men confuse attachment with love. It's not. Real love can't exist without self-respect. And here's the twist. The moment you stop being afraid of losing her is the moment she starts being afraid of losing you. Her ego cracks, her tone changes, because deep down she realizes she doesn't control the frame anymore. You do. That's when she chases. That's when attraction becomes genuine. 6. Control the emotional tempo. Every relationship has rhythm. Most men let her set the beat. She's warm, you melt. She's cold, you panic. That's not control, that's emotional dependency. You need to control the tempo, slow it down, lead the tone. Don't let her moods dictate your reactions. When she's emotional, you stay calm. When she's calm, you match her warmth. When she's chaotic, you pull back your energy. Think of it like driving. If she slams the gas, you don't race, you steer steady. That contrast is what builds respect. This doesn't mean being robotic, it means being steady. You notice her emotions, but you don't absorb them. You stay grounded. Speak slower, move slower, breathe slower. Control the pace of the interaction. When a woman sees you won't rise and fall with her moods, her ego loses control. Suddenly, you're the one setting the rhythm. And that rhythm? It's calm, grounded, masculine. That's what women crave underneath all the noise, someone who won't drown in their waves. When you master emotional tempo, you don't just destroy her ego, you awaken her respect. 7. Value silence over validation. Men today are addicted to validation. It's like they can't breathe without approval. They want to be liked, complimented, understood. But that need? It's exactly what keeps women's egos inflated. When you crave validation, you hand her the remote to your emotions. Silence is the cure. Not cold silence, but confident stillness. You stop chasing approval, stop explaining, stop seeking reassurance. Let your silence say, "I'm fine with or without your response." That's what unnerves her ego. She can't manipulate what she can't move. When you don't reply instantly, she wonders. When you don't bite every emotional bait, she rethinks her power. That's silence doing its job. Validation is loud, silence is power. The less you react, the more she reflects. Remember, a woman's ego doesn't survive without your reaction. The moment you stop feeding it, it starts starving. And when it starves, the real woman, the one behind the ego, starts showing up. Softer, respectful, curious. That's when the game ends and attraction becomes real. Destroying her ego doesn't mean you're cruel. It means you stopped playing along. Hold frame, stay indifferent, use silence, stop explaining, be willing to walk, control tempo, value peace over approval, and you'll see something strange happen. She starts respecting you, because the man who doesn't need to win already has.